Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Last video editing test on the Asus Tuf. A couple changes of course, obviously. Well, one major change anyways, and that's the drive that's in here now is a Kingston fastest drive on planet Earth. Over 7,000 megabits per second read and write speeds. And if you haven't caught that video, man, she is very close to those rated up to speeds. Like, just that little inkling more and be dead on. So I just want to go over some stuff first and then we'll get started. Now with this video editing test, it's like the way I generally do things, you know, get my thing, get it imported, do my clipping, and go to the export. So no monkeying around with this, that, and the other thing, just basic stuff that I do. But anyway, so our original test on this computer is 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD that had a speed rating of 3500 read-write, and of course it didn't clock out that fast, but pretty darn close. I mean, even the read side is actually just slightly above. But anyways, the new drive, of course, is just cooking. Like, it's crazy. Now, this is a 2.3 gigahertz base clock with a 4.7, I believe it is, on turbo mode. I am not running turbo. I'm only running performance. So I'm usually about 4.3, 4.4. Around there, and of course it's a Intel i7 11th, I think it's 11th gen on this one. Anyways, you guys can look up my computer and find out all the specs. 4 gigs of NVIDIA video card, so it's got an actual real video card in it, not, you know, shared things, right? Now, the time on that was actually 10 minutes and 49 seconds, which is pretty impressive. Okay, my Mac Mini M1 is 8 core by 8 core, 16 gigs of RAM and half a terabyte, and it has a speed on its drive averaging 2981 on the read and 2142 write. Those do vary from test to test, by the way. My HP computer did 11 minutes and 48 seconds, so it's actually just a hair slower. With 16 gigs of RAM and a half a terabyte gamer class NVMe in it that runs out at 35 by 3000, and that's the up to rating. The actual speeds are, like I said, plus or minus. Test I did this morning came out at 3389 and 2180. So the PCs are both using Movie Maker, which is a really old program, but it gives it an extra edge at least because it's pretty basic, kind of like iMovie is, right, on the Mac. And iMovie, well, it has changed over the years, a little bit here and there, and it's got more and more powerful. iMovie is still way more powerful than Movie Maker could ever dream of becoming. But anyway, so today's test is 32 gigs of RAM, the fastest drive on planet Earth sitting in this thing, and it's PCIe 4, of course, and we're going to see what kind of time frame we get. So let's get things ready here. I will be fast forwarding all this for you guys so that we can save a lot of time. Alright guys, that is really close to kicking my Mac's butt. Wow. Total time 7 minutes 25 seconds. Every file that we've tested on all the computers have all been done on my DSLR at 1080p resolution for recording, and all at 19 minutes. And all I can say is wow. The Mac Mini with an 8-core processor, which of course we don't get turbo mode in the Macs anymore, right, because of the Apple Silicon. But we do have 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, okay? So when you're doing heavy-duty tasking, those performance cores kick in, right? And they're about 3.2 gigahertz each, so they're not the fastest kids on the block. This thing's cranking out at well over 4.3, 4.4 gigahertz, all 8 cores at once, no performance cores. So there's some differences here. Twice the amount of memory. Last time at pretty much the same drive speeds, relatively. We had like 10 minutes and 49 seconds. This time with the same amount of RAM, and keep in mind the base clock of my Asus is 2.3 gigahertz, but I have it set to run at over 4 all the time because I play games. So, and yeah, I just want it to go, you know what I mean? Anyways, so the change we made here, of course, was the drive. We put inside this laptop the fastest drive on earth, which actually runs so sickly close to its actual speeds listed. Okay, and anyways, like I said, it's only within a couple of points. It took that and 32 gigs of RAM, and of course my processor's running at well over 4.3 gigahertz per core, okay, on all 8 cores at once. And we are only a couple seconds difference. Like it was 7 minutes and 12 seconds. If you want to get really technical, 712.82 to 72573. So if we want to do the actual math on that, I think I have a calculator on here. Yes, we do. So if we take 7.725, let's just do this as 725 minus 712. 13 different. 13 seconds difference. So this thing is only 13 seconds behind my Mac Mini now for video editing. Now that is with Movie Maker, which, like I said, even though it's an old program, it offers a lot, and it offers an awful lot of the same sort of features and way of doing things as iMovie does. iMovie's just a little bit more powerful, but at least with iMovie you can drop the file on and it's instantly there ready to rock, right? With this, it's got to import it before you can even touch it, you know, type of thing. And then once it's done, then you get to play. So we've done no color correction or any of that. But this is not about the actual export time. This is about getting in, doing your dirty business, and getting out. That's most of what I do on my videos, okay? And a lot of other people do the same thing. But an awful lot of people go really intense, so they're actually chewing up a lot of time. Like if you were actually take somebody who does a very complex video edit and stuff, regardless of the program they're using, they could be at it for hours and hours and hours and hours. And the export time is just the export time, right? And export time is always going to vary, right? But any file that's the exact same size is a great way to test. You know, same file, same everything, and you know that works. You know, yeah, that's blowing my freaking mind that it takes so much more just to, you know, be a little bit slower than the Mac. I mean, the Mac's got it beat. Let's face it, the Mac does have it beat, but it's only by a few seconds. So it's like. So if anything happens to my Mac, I can definitely rely on being able to go back to Movie Maker on my PC, do my video editing until my Mac is fixed or replaced. So now at least I got something that's not going to take me like hours and hours and hours. Okay? But that's also a really good improvement too, because when you think about this too, the original test on this machine was 32 by 1 terabyte with a 35 by 3000 drive, and even with 32 gigs of RAM, it still took 10 minutes and 49 seconds. So what did we really save on that one? So if we take 1049 minus that from 725, so that's an extra 3 minutes and 24 seconds faster. And that's basically, we're doubling our horsepower of our drive. This is the only change. Same size, 1 terabyte, but we're doubling the horsepower of the drive. And we saved 3 minutes and 24 seconds in and out. That's a good savings. You know, that is a really good savings. You know, it's the same thing when we did the testing with the HP and stuff and how much time we saved, etc. That was a big savings. That's a couple of minutes saved. You know, so that adds up during the day. You know, for every 3 minutes into a half an hour, that's a lot. Okay, so every half hour you're going to save X amount of time. That's pretty respectable. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the fastest drive on earth. I think it's worth upgrading to. If your computer can support an internal PCIe 4 NVMe, get the fastest, baddest thing. I mean, it was on sale for like $102 for this drive, and it's like, that is really good, right? In future, I wouldn't mind having, you know, another one that's a lot more capacity if I need it. I would definitely go for like a 2 terabyte down the road. But right now, between that and my other drive, I've got 2 terabytes in this thing now. And this is my main drive, and wow. That's a great savings. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments below as always. And we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.